Don't resist.
I don't want.
Stop. It's okay. Relax.
No, he punched me first.
Wow, nature. So I want to tell you guys a little story. Some crazy stuff went down last night. I was at my place and I was using the building's gym. And when I got there, there was a guy there already kind of, I don't know what he was doing. He wasn't working out. He was loitering. He was basically loitering in the gym by himself. And I started, working out. And he starts talking to me while I'm mid-set, like I'm on the bench and I'm bench pressing, and he's talking to me and I like asking me questions, and I told him I'll respond in a sec, like I can't respond while I'm lifting, right? And then okay, I put my weights down. I'm like, okay, what's up? And then he's like, ask me about some hockey players. Do I know these hockey players? And I said, no, I don't. Sorry. And then he asked me again. I said, no, I don't know. And then he asked me if I know some league of some other league. I didn't know. He just kept talking to me, kept asking me questions, and it just was like, man, he was annoying. So I was trying to be polite and everything, and just like answer his questions. And after a while, I just got tired of it, and I just ignored him, and I started just focusing on my workout. Just what I came for. And I don't think he liked that, because he started coming closer and closer, while I'm working out too, and it's just me and him in the gym, right? So I put my weights down. I'm like, would you mind giving me some room, please? And then he comes even closer. I said, don't touch me. And he touched me. So a little bit of background. I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I've been doing it for almost 7 years. Very dedicated to that sport. I fight with guys all the time, my friends, like in the gym, so we spar and stuff. We call it rolling. So basically, I grabbed him by his right wrist, and I did something called an arm drag, where you pull him towards you with your right hand. You cup his right tricep, and your left hand grabs his wrist, and you pull him towards you, and that exposes his back. So when I had his back, I put him in a rear naked choke. And I told him, I'm like, I don't remember what I said. I was like, what are you doing? Like, leave me alone, you know what I mean? And he was kind of struggling and freaking out. I said, I'm not going to choke you. I said, just leave me alone. Don't touch me again. And then it's really hard to remember what happened, because it all happened so fast. I let him go. I thought he was fine. And when I let him go, boy, man, did I make a mistake, because he just came at me full force. He swung at me, knocked my glasses off my face, and then he kicked me. So I clinched up with him and I took him down, did a little like takedown with the trip, and I did something called passing the guard, where you get to side control. I don't know if you guys watch UFC and stuff. Basically, you go around his legs, and I did something called knee on belly, where you put your knee on his chest and you can kind of pin him there, right? So I pinned him down, and he's struggling, and I'm like, dude, I don't want to fight. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing here? I asked him like 10 times, what are you doing here? And like he just wouldn't answer properly. It was really, got away for 1 sec. Yeah. No, he wasn't really answering. Something was really strange about this guy. So I said, like, where do you live? Why are you here? Like, he said he lives somewhere else. I don't know. And then I told him, okay, just leave. Leave. I'm going to let you up and you go. And I don't know if he was going to go or not, but I needed to call the police. And my phone was kind of far from me. I think it got knocked out or something. So I had to let him up to get to my phone. I called the police. I went outside of the gym. I called the police, and I'm on the phone with the cops. I tell them what the hell happened. They said, okay, we're sending a police your way. And while I'm talking to them, he comes running at me, not even kidding, with a 50-pound dumbbell. A 50-pound dumbbell charging at me. So I freak out, right? And I move away. And then he goes back in the gym. And I'm telling the police officer, he just charged at me with a dumbbell. And he comes out again with a smaller one, like 7.5-pound dumbbell. And I just caught it at the corner of my eye, and he threw it at me. He threw this dumbbell at me, and I didn't see it till the last second I moved, and it went past me. And I was, holy shit. So I walked away even further, not walked away, I just kind of sprinted away, you know, got some distance on me and him. And I'm telling the police officer what he's doing, and they're like, hey, they're on their way, you know, can you describe where you are, blah, blah, blah. So I was telling them exactly where I was. And then this is where it gets crazy. Like, oh, no, crazier. He comes charging at me with some other workout equipment thing. I don't know what it was. Charging at me like full force, running. So I'm like, I have to run, right? I mean, like, I could engage with him again, but honestly, like, why? I already took him down twice. I put him in a choke 2 times. Like, what am I going to do? I'm going to choke him out, okay, and then what? Like, I don't want to engage again. So I booked it, and I was running while on the phone with the police. I was telling the operator, I'm like, I'm literally running away from him right now. As I'm talking to you, I'm running. He's chasing me. So I go into my building, and I don't think he has access, so I go in there, and he's kind of walking around. I think he's trying to kind of look for me because some other people were like distracting him for a moment or something. I don't know. And then the cops come. So I see the cop, you know, it's talking to him, and he's kind of agitated, and the cop kind of like, you know, grabs him, and then the guy starts resisting and pulling away, and the cop goes to like handcuff him or something, and he lets free. He pulls away and starts to run. He gets about 5 steps in, and then one of the residents that lives in that neighborhood tackles the guy down to the ground. The cop comes in, you know, and they start wrestling him, and that's where I start recording. So I'm gonna play the video of what happened at that moment, and then I'll come back to this. So here, check it out.
Wait. Get on the ground. Come on. Just relax.
No,
We
he
don't want to
hurts.
hurt you. We don't want to hurt you. Put your hand on your back. Other hand. Come on. I don't want to hurt you, my man.
No, he hurts me first. Why you arrest me?
Don't resist.
I don't want.
Stop. It's okay. Relax.
No, he punched me first.
Okay, just stop what you're doing. Just relax, buddy. We don't want to hurt you.
Why do you arrest me?
Thanks, boys. Yeah.
No, he hurts me though.
Here we go. Thanks, guys. Yeah. Okay, relax. Okay. You need to stop fighting with us. Okay.
No, he hurts me.
I don't want to hurt you.
No, he hurts me though.
Okay.
You arrest him.
Hey, come on, stand up. Stand up. Come on. Thanks, my man. I still want it.
All right, so yeah, you saw what happened there. They were trying to wrestle him to the ground. I'm like, I gotta film this. This is too crazy of a day. Like, I just wanted to work out. I just wanted to work out before my trip here to Tofino, and no, didn't happen. So I don't know. I filmed that. Yeah, man, that was crazy because that was the very first time I actually had to use jiu-jitsu in real life. I've only been using it in practice and in tournaments. So in tournaments, it gets pretty real in there, but it's not life-threatening at any point. Like, it is, but you just tap and then it's over, right? So this time he was, you know, like, he punched me or he hit me or something, and my glasses went off, and then, you know, we're wrestling. I got him to the ground, like, and it's like, holy cow, there's nobody here to help me. There was nobody there, and it's just like, thank goodness I know how to handle, you know, this type of fighting, you know, like, because I do it, and I could remain calm and under control. Granted, I was like, what the f? I was calm to a degree, but my heart was still racing, right? If anyone is looking for some kind of physical activity, something to just keep them in shape, or, you know, you just need something, like, and I don't know, you don't know what to do, or you're thinking about martial arts, honestly, do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Do it. It is the most, well, I don't want to say the most useful in terms of like combatives, because I mean there's other different types of martial arts that are great for different scenarios, but Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has so many great positive things to it. You get a good workout for one. The type of people that are in there are people without egos. So Joe Rogan, the commentator for the UFC, he calls it an ego filter. And it's basically because at the beginning, oh my God, my hand is numb. At the beginning, when you first start out, you have to get your ass kicked. Well, no, you don't have to, but you do. You get your ass kicked repeatedly for months straight. You basically, no matter how big you are or how strong you are, if a small guy has like a year or two of experience on you, he can probably choke you out or break your arm if he wanted to. So it's a bit demoralizing, and you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with not with realizing that you're weak. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why it's an ego filter. So the people there are generally very good people. You know what I mean? They're cool. They don't have egos. They're chill, and they're happy to teach you technique that'll make you better, even though it'll make it harder for them to beat you. Okay, so there's that. So the workout, there's the people that you meet there, and then there's the practicality. So throughout this whole fight that I had with this guy, I was like this was nothing new to me. You know what I mean? I mean, there was some stuff new, you know, but the whole like controlling and taking the guy down and holding him in a certain position, and then knowing how much force to apply when I have the choke, and knowing when he would go out and when he wouldn't go out. Like, those things I know because I've been training for a long time, and it's very useful. And I don't know what I would have done if I didn't know that stuff. I probably would have started swinging and, you know, striking with the guy or kicking him or something, but then that creates unnecessary violence and unnecessary damage. You know, oh, this guy's letting me through. Yeah, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is great that you don't need to throw strikes. You don't need to. You can diffuse a situation merely with grappling techniques, which is controlling position and reaching a submission. A submission is where you, I don't know, you either have the guy's back or his arm or his knee or his ankle or his shoulder or something to the point where he either taps or it breaks or he goes out cold. It was really an interesting altercation, and I think I've learned a little bit, because you really honestly don't know what to do until you're in that situation. I got some battle scars, but nothing like that crazy, because I've taken more damage in practice, in jiu-jitsu practice, than I have actually in that fight. Because the guys I train with they're killers, man. They're beasts. So this other guy was just scratching and like, I don't know, I got like mat burn on my elbow and a big scratch on my neck and stuff, but like, it's just, they're peanuts. Yeah, so yeah, that's my story, and I'm gonna turn this camera off right now and enjoy this ride, and I'll take some more shots later.
For my wrongs, I have just begun. Ain't no mercy, ain't no mercy.
Alfred, I can't find my LightMode. Alfred, where are my LightMode socks? You know the socks I wear to go riding at night.